The Israeli military says it's carried out an airstrike on Beirut. Germany's High Court has partially accepted electoral law reform, but rejected a proposal that would discriminate against smaller parties. The Israeli military says it has carried out a strike on Beirut, targeting the Hezbollah commander allegedly behind the deaths of 12 children and teens killed in the rocket attack on Golan Heights. The strike hit Beirut's southern suburb of Harat Reich, damaging several buildings, including an apartment building next to a hospital. Lebanon's state-run national news agency reported the airstrike was carried out with a drone that launched 3 rockets. It is not yet clear whether any Hezbollah official was hit.
"11 people were injured as a result of Russian attacks in the Kherson region, according to Ukrainian police. 3 children were reportedly amongst the injured. Moscow's forces attacked the area with artillery, mortars, and multiple launch rocket systems. The Russian military also used drones to drop explosives on targets. Residential, administrative, and educational buildings were damaged, along with critical infrastructure, according to the regional authorities. A 63-year-old woman was reported to be hospitalized, along with a 16-year-old who is in critical condition. The situation in the nation remains dire following Russia's invasion, but Ukraine is pushing back. They reportedly hit a military airfield about 1,800 kilometers into the Russian border, damaging a supersonic bomber plane, according to a Ukrainian military intelligence spokesperson.
It's the first time since 2019 that an Italian prime minister has set foot in China, and the first visit for Meloni since taking office. A way to relaunch the relationship between Rome and Beijing and to strengthen economic cooperation after removing Italy from the Belt and Road Initiative. Boosting the growth of Italy's automotive sector, one of the country's most strategic industries, was among the main purposes of the agreement signed between Rome and Beijing. We spoke to one of the members of the Italian delegation who traveled to China on behalf of the business sector.
Questo ulteriore viaggio della Premier con l'endorsement politico ai massimi livelli, quindi Li Chang, primo ministro, e il presidente, secondo me è stato molto importante perché dà quell'endorsement politico, quell'ombrello politico senza il quale un'azienda cinese non se la sentirebbe, anche se economicamente fattibile, di investire nel nostro paese. Da qui a portare competenze soprattutto per la nuova mobilità in Italia, ovviamente ce ne passa ancora un po' perché dobbiamo adesso noi costruire con le nostre imprese il terreno favorevole, ma certamente questa azione del governo è da considerare molto positiva.
Electric vehicles and renewable energies are the focus of the agreement.
Il significato di questo accordo strategico è di portare costruzione di veicoli in Europa e in Italia in particolare per nuove energie, quindi veicoli elettrici, sviluppando ulteriormente quello che già di buono c'è in Italia nella nostra filiera.
With Italy and other member states changing their engagement with China and tariffs being imposed on some Chinese goods, experts say the EU is faced with the need to redefine its China policy.
È sicuramente uno strumento diverso che l'Italia e il governo italiano sta utilizzando nelle relazioni esterne verso la Cina. Ovviamente rientra a un focus maggiore sulle relazioni bilaterali, mentre l'accordo relativo alla via della seta è appunto relativo ad un progetto che è di fatto il progetto chiave per la politica estera cinese, con un respiro molto più globale.
Prime Minister Meloni noted that Chinese investments in Italy account for a third compared with Italian investments in China, and she vowed to fill that gap. Giorgia Orlandi for Euronews in Rome.
A third girl has died following a stabbing spree at a children's Taylor Swift-themed event in the United Kingdom. She was one of 6 wounded children who had been in critical condition following Monday's attack on a dance center in Southport for children aged 6 to 10. 2 children had died in the attack earlier. A 17-year-old boy is being held in connection with the attack. Police have said the motivation for the attack was unclear, but that it was not being treated as terror-related.
Germany's highest court has upheld a proposal to downsize its parliament, but overturned a planned change that would disproportionately impact smaller parties. The Federal Constitutional Court in Karlsruhe ruled the abolition of the so-called Basic Mandate Clause unlawful. It came after they received objections from the centre-right Christian Social Union and the smaller Left Party, who feared the change could cost them their chance to send lawmakers to Berlin. The maintaining of this rule means that parties receiving less than 5% of the vote will still be represented in the Bundestag if they have at least 3 directly elected lawmakers. However, the core elements of the electoral reform will remain in place. This includes the cutting down of the Bundestag from 736 members to 630, as well as the abolition of the overhang and compensatory mandates. Extreme heat continues to scorch Europe, with 9 municipalities across Spain under orange warnings for high temperatures. According to Spain's meteorological agency, the hottest region is expected to be Andalusia, where the temperature is set to rise to 42 degrees in the provinces of Granada and Jaén. Romania is also suffering from an ongoing heat wave, with temperatures expected to exceed 40 degrees in the second half of the week. Meanwhile, wildfires are spreading in Greece, Albania, North Macedonia and Croatia. Evacuation orders are in place in several Greek regions, and firefighters spent the night battling a blaze on the island of Evia. Fires in Albania and North Macedonia are threatening many residential areas, and in Croatia, firefighters are attempting to control a huge blaze near the town of Skradin. The extreme heat is emanating from a large mass of hot air which has travelled across the Mediterranean from North Africa and brought with it dust from the desert. In Portugal, people have been urged to limit outdoor activity and keep their windows closed where possible, owing to the poor air quality.
Holidays are approaching, and while some are dreaming about relaxing in the sun, many people won't be able to get away. An EU report has shown that in 2022, 40 million European workers were not able to spend a week away from home. And that number is increasing, with the cost of going abroad being one of the reasons.
Le coût de la vie, de toute façon, ne va jamais en diminuant. C'est toujours en augmentant, donc tous les tarifs sont toujours plus chers. La raison, évidemment, c'est l'économie mondiale. Et le budget vacances, c'est quand même un fameux budget. Il faut quand même compter minimum, même pour une personne, 1500, 2000 euros. Donc si vous êtes à 3-4, ça chiffre vite.
Working conditions can also be to blame.
Op dit moment werkzoekende, dus heb ik gekozen om hier te blijven en werk te zoeken en niet op vakantie te gaan.
Compared to 2023, 2 million more people will have to stay at home this year, making up around 14.6% of EU citizens.
And what's shocking is, it used to be the case that working in Europe meant you could afford a holiday. 5 days, we're talking a week away, either in your own country or in another country.
According to the European Trade Union Confederation, holidays are key to avoid discrimination towards children, but are also important for workers.
It's also unsafe for workers, so workers need to have time to recuperate. That is seriously important for addressing burnout and making sure that you come back to work restored and refreshed.
Around 30% of people in Romania, Cyprus and Greece are not able to afford a week away from home.
Team Japan House opened its doors in Paris for the 2024 Summer Games. The house will function as a place where the Japanese Olympic Committee will hold press conferences and also introduce Japanese culture to the public. That's why the Team Japan House is currently hosting an exhibition showcasing how the previous Summer Olympics in Tokyo in 2021 have had an impact on the ongoing Paris Games. Like, for example, these infamous cardboard bed frames for athletes. They made their debut in Tokyo 3 years ago.
By flipping this or changing this, you can easily customize the firmness of the mattress as a whole.
But recyclable beds and uniforms are not the only integral parts of the Tokyo 2021 heritage.
オリンピックは非常にCOVID-19 の非常にその真っ最中の中で行われたオリンピックなので、そのセキュリティというよりもどっちかというとセーフティーの部分で非常に苦心したところがあると思います。で、今回やっぱりパリオリンピックもかなりどっちかというとセキュリティのところでしっかりと運営されていると思うので、そこは我々どちらかというとセーフティーを一生懸命頑張ったそのクオリティとそのセキュリティの頑張ってらっしゃるクオリティがやっぱりお互いになんかどちらかでコラボレーションするようなそんな我々もなんか言ってったらいいかなと思ってますし、それからそういうお手伝いもできることがあったらお手伝いしたいなと思ってますけど。
More than 400 Japanese athletes are expected to participate in the Paris Olympics, the largest delegation from the Asian continent. Sofia Katsankova reporting from Paris for Euronews.